So do you guys understand wrong?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Mr. Tottenham from the Health Classroom. You're about to witness a behind-the-scenes look at our podcast experience with the middle schoolers. We have two 7th grade understudies, Mira and Ahana, and they'll follow along with our 8th grade podcast hosts, Sree and Samarth, as they interview their peers about teenage life, finishing the school year strong. How do teens stay motivated to keep their academics up at the end of each school year, going into summer and beyond? In the middle of and at the end of this episode, the 7th graders will reflect with their own thoughts on motivation in academics in particular. This is meant to give some insight into our podcasting experience, but also to help with these 7th graders who are up and coming, who might take over as hosts next year. If you're looking for the full episode of the podcast, that's an entirely different link altogether, and I'll include that in the show notes here. For now, here's Mira and Ahana as they follow along with teen accountability and motivation to end the school year. I'll be back at the end to wrap some things up. For now, enjoy.
Our topic is how to be motivated to stay strong until the end of the year. So for the being motivated until the end of the year, I know like as a person, I'm like it's really hard for me to stay like strong because it's like the end of the year's there, and after that summer, and then summer I get to like relax and get up at noon, but now I have to get up at 6. So it's like I just want to like get it over with. But I think the motivation of like I want to get good grades, I want to do well. I think that's really what pushes me, but I don't think that's the same for a lot of people, which is why that's why we're doing this topic, just to like get the word out there that this kind of stuff is there.
Yeah, like kind of already feels like summer because like, okay, so April, there's like barely anything left of April, so there's like no more April, and then May, you do nothing.
It feels
so
like summer because
no
it's getting
May.
more warmer each day. It feels like it's like we're getting closer to the end of the year, and we want more motivations. Or like we're getting closer to the end of the year, and like our system is telling us we gotta push to the end. You don't gotta give up.
Yeah, I think there's two main things. Like one is like emotionally, like guys, I just want to give up. I just want to go back to bed. And that's what I'm feeling right now. Like right now, I want to go back to sleep.
That's most people.
But I think there's like another more like logical side of me that's telling me like I need to lock in so I'm able to like finish the school year strong, because otherwise it's going to hurt me both mentally and like collegially. I think that's a word, collegially. Yeah. So I think that that's what you mean. Like the emotional aspect is what I think we need to allow the logical part to take over. Otherwise, the emotional part will like engulf us, and then we're not able to see the logical reasoning anymore, thus decreasing our chances and our possibilities of, and the general possibility of us finishing strong and being able to complete the school year without any negative things.
Yeah,
That was
and
a
most
long
people
monologue.
struggle.
Okay,
Yeah, most people struggle because of like tests. They get worried that they're not gonna pass their tests and like
the final.
like
I
their
really agree with
like
that.
their finals, and they're studying a lot, and they feel like they're gonna get a bad grade, and then whatever they do, they might actually get a good grade out of all this like hard work and like not giving up.
One thing I try to believe is that if you think you're going to do bad, then you will do bad. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to fail this, then you probably are.
It's just your brain that what you thinks you're gonna do.
You just got to like stay feeling
focused.
Yeah, I'm going to do this good, and then I'll finally be able to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, as like instead of it's not as much for me as like trying to keep up the motivation through the year, but it's that like now that summer is like coming up, and like there's barely any school left because of summer, like that's your time to just like laze around and basically do nothing because you have close to zero responsibilities. Like I'm kind of already in that mindset already where like there's like barely anything, there's barely any school. I don't really have to focus as much. Like I just want to like skip to summer so I can just like do nothing, and that's starting to have an impact on my schoolwork. So like the main thing for me is just to like keep like reminding myself that even though I'm close to summer, I still have to do my work, and in this like less than 2 months before it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to admit to that. You're gonna get more confident that you're gonna do better at work because you're already experienced at school. Because like the summer's getting close, it's getting warmer, everyone's having most of the fun in school, and you're getting too confident. and that's mostly what happens to people's grades drop down. It's like most of the time you just gotta like stay strong till the end. You just gotta like lock in, no matter the season, no matter if it's the end or the close or the start. You just gotta be prepared for what's gonna come and like what's gonna happen for now.
Yeah, I can like relate to that because like the first 2 quarters I had like perfect grades, but now I'm starting to like falter a little.
You're getting confident more.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah, that like, oh, it's fine, it's already almost over, it doesn't really matter to do as good, but you gotta stay focused and always do your best.
I have like a similar thing, but I think for me, it's more of, because like my grades have never been the best. There's like a societal standard set that the better your grades, the better like person you are, and I don't think that's true, because I know some really good people who don't have the best grades, and I know some people who aren't the best, but they have amazing grades. So I don't think that reflects that. And also, like in itself, I know a couple of people who have planned to go to college and they're freshmen in college right now, and for them, when I was talking to them, they said more often than not, 8th grade doesn't really matter grade wise, and I think that's what really like changed me, because before 8th grade, that's when I was talking to them and they're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter because they're only going to pay attention to your high school GPA. And for me, that's like, okay, this doesn't really matter. I should focus on other things that I like, because it's my last year. I can probably do stuff. So I think that general concept of like, it's not going to affect, I think that's been like portrayed across a lot of various sources, which is why I think that is the reason why a lot of people don't try as hard.
Yeah, 8th grade grades not really mattering. I know my sister's like going to go to college soon. She's a junior and she's already like preparing, and like she tells me all the time, like even though colleges won't look at those grades all the way back then, it's still really important for you to try really hard in 8th grade so you can like build up like all of that like responsibility and working hard, so for your high school classes you are already prepared and you're not suffering as much, because like obviously the workload is going to get much higher. Even if it's kind of higher right now, it's going to get much higher there, so you have to work on like keeping up with what you have right now, because if you don't, then it's not going to get any better in high school.
Yeah.
You just gotta stay confident till the end. You just gotta push yourself and like be more stronger till like the end. If you just like say, no, I won't do this, that's not really gonna help you in like the future. You're not gonna like take responsibility. You're not gonna do anything for yourself. You just gotta you just gotta lock in. That's mostly just what you gotta do.
I know, I've seen a lot of kids, it's like they do a lot of extracurriculars. Like, I'm in the musical right now, and that takes up a lot of my time, because this week I'm at school from some days like 6:50 in the morning all the way to like 6 p.m. and the next week it's until 6:30. So it really takes up a lot of my time, and then on top of that, I have a bunch of projects that are due this week and next week. So that it like drains me, and it's like I can't really like focus, and I think the concept of that, like I'm incapable of moving on, like I'm like, oh, I just want to like go to bed. And I know like I brought that up earlier, but like I think that's the main issue with people right now, is like there's so much work, and then on top of that they're like seeing so many places, like there are people that are just out having fun, and then there's like I want to do that too. So like that lack of motivation from that, I think, is also a big problem.
Most people just take advantage of it. Like people think 8th grade is like one of the easiest classes because like they know they're gonna go to high school still. Because a good example, 8th grade grades will not really matter for now, but you just still gotta work for them right now.
Yeah.
But if you get to high school, they're gonna put you in lower classes that you're not gonna need. They're like lower classes that you don't need for yourself. You need higher classes so you can improve yourself, so you can like do better for the future. Most people just like, take advantage of this and like just don't really do well in like middle school. They really just fail. But I would recommend most people to like just stay focused, do your best, and maybe you'll pass with good grades and you'll get to a higher level,
Then
like
you
high
can
school.
actually learn instead of just redoing what you've already done before.
Yeah, you just like don't learn anything and just like that's why in life most people don't really like succeed. That's like you're just being lazy. You gotta like stay strong till the very end.
It's like what the I Ready video says that plays at the beginning of the test.
Yeah.
They're like, don't rush, don't purposely do bad, or else you're gonna have to redo it and just do things that are not right for
Like
you.
most students say, you will get lower classes than you anticipate.
Yeah.
You won't learn anything new from there. You'll need like higher classes to like proceed.
Yeah, you guys make good points. About like not pushing and not like rushing through school. Do you guys have any experiences where you guys rushed and like you know how it negatively impacted you?
I'm trying to remember, but
I probably like rushed like maybe myself on a couple tests. I regretted that moment because I got like not really good grades. I'm like maybe one time I got a good grade for it, but like most of the time you will fail. You won't you won't do good. You just gotta take your time and just stay calm. You just gotta push yourself ahead just to do it like normally. You just gotta read whatever's on the paragraph, read the book. You just gotta learn.
Yeah.
I think I know like in ELA, when we were working, there are some people that they rush and they don't do good quality work, and then they're still complaining that they get bad grades. And I don't but during the time that we were given to work, they're goofing off, they're talking with their friends, they're playing games, they're on their phones, they're doing something that isn't helping them further themselves in society, and they're always like negatively, like they're like it's
digging
like they're digging their own grave. They want themselves. It's like it seems like they want themselves to fail, and the teachers want the kids to succeed.
Yeah, they definitely try
reasons.
to like direct them in the right
And they
path.
blame the teacher for not like learning them or something.
Yeah.
Or they always like blame, even though it's their fault for not doing them themselves.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard the phrase like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink
Yeah.
it. Like that's a huge case for like.
Okay, so what did you think about when they said there's some people who have good grades but are not as good of a person, and people who are amazing people but don't have as good grades?
I 100% agree with that, because a lot of my friends are really amazing people, but sometimes they don't get the best grades, but it's good because they're so kind and like considerate that the grades don't really matter as much.
It's like, I feel like some people have the mentality that grades make up everything you are, who you are, which shouldn't be true.
I mean, like, I feel like some of that is like from parents, because some parents, I have a lot of friends whose parents might like get really mad at them for getting like a lesser than grade.
Yeah.
So I feel like grades are just like a portion of who you are and not like you as a whole.
Yeah, on top of that, I totally agreed with when they said we need a lock-in, because we're getting into the summer mentality, and towards the end, their finals, and we need to get working on those.
What did you think about how they said like in summer it's I do less work? What do you think about that?
Okay, so although okay, this one's a good one. Although we do things in the summer, we also don't, and us not doing things leads our parents to telling us to do more things.
Yeah, like if I say I'm bored in the summer, my mom gives me like 7,000 chores. Like cleaning out my closet.
Oh God.
I need to do that. Anyway.
I did that this weekend.
So yeah, I think that wraps up the first half.
Yeah.
Those people, because they just want to get it over with, the project, they just like ignore and just like talk bad about the teacher because they don't want to do their work, even though they just rushed and didn't do a good job in the first place.
But I would say I have some friends who like they actually listen to the teacher's advice and they actually pass with really good grades afterwards. They actually worked themselves hard and they actually improved a lot from what they did mistakenly. I had like a couple friends who like rushed to tests. Afterwards, the teacher recommended them to like stay and study sometimes, and, like take their time. Afterwards, they were actually getting good grades, like A's, B's. They weren't failing like before. They were getting really bad grades, and their parents did not like it at all. And then afterwards, they improved. They improved it, and they got actually a good like.
High grade.
They got a high grade in like high school and everything.
Yeah, a huge thing is that like feedback and hate are two different things, and a lot of people just confuse like feedback for hate. Like instead of hearing like this is what you can do to make this better, they just hear like you did this terribly.
Yeah.
So
they take it
they
like
hear
a bad
criticism
response.
instead of
Yeah.
constructive
They think the teachers
criticism.
like want to like give them like a bad response back, but instead they're trying to like help the students like improve, like motivate them to help like to pass all their
yeah, because
things.
teachers want their students to succeed.
Exactly.
I think the moment you get feedback back, it's really just a red pill, blue pill choice. One, you take it, you realize what you've done wrong, and you really like work towards it. And then there are examples of that, of people actually doing that and succeeding well. But then there are also people who chose the wrong pill, and they're and it's like it's
They
kind
don't
of
do
obvious.
well, they, like,
Yeah, and then
fail.
they do really bad, and then but instead of like realizing that it's their fault, they
Blame
are
it.
living in like in a sort of matrix, like a fake world that it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's the teacher's fault. They didn't teach me right. They're not
they're not
trying
being
hard
self-aware.
enough.
Yeah.
They're not trying hard enough. So it's the concept of I'm incapable of doing wrong. The teacher's the one that's wrong. Because of the teacher doing wrong, I'm getting bad grades. So now it's the teacher's fault for not trying hard enough when the teacher clearly did. And I think that's what at the end of the day, that's the real problem of society now. Like I'm the best person here, so it's all your fault.
This is what people take mostly. They always compare themselves to like the smart kids or something. They always like say, "Wow, you do very well, and I do very bad because the teacher doesn't learn me anything." Like I always wondered like why, and I always see them at lessons that they like stay on their phone. They don't do any work. They just stay, like sleep or something. I say, why don't you do the work yourself? Why don't you like wake up and actually try your best to do it? That's why you're failing. Probably that's why the other kids are doing better than you.
And then
they're actually listening.
And then they're like, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. It's just the teacher's fault."
Exactly. That's what that's why it's making like students furious in the first place. They think they are better than students that do actually something, unless they don't do anything themselves.
Yeah, naturally people want to get better, but many people don't want to practice.
But they're very lazy.
Yeah, they don't want to practice. Like I'm kind of guilty of this. Like as an artist, I don't like practicing drawing because I'm not good at it. But I know I have to practice in order to get better, and that's like a huge case with academics, where people want to like get high scores. They want to be top of their class,
But they gotta
valedictorian,
practice
whatever.
more.
Yeah, but they don't want to
They gotta
practice
study.
for it. They just want to like wake up in a world where they're like on top
They're
of
smart.
everyone.
Yeah.
They're like the best.
Yeah. Yeah,
That-
they're like living in those delusions that like make them not want to like work cuz like I'm the best. I don't have to work. And they like suffer from it. Like even if you're high performing now, like you have to keep working for it to like keep up that high performance.
Exactly. That's the thing in sports also. That's like in sports, everything almost. Like for businesses, school, everything.
Yeah, like
Like, if you
big
don't
ticket
pra- like, for
basketball players,
basketballs,
they still have to play. They
Like,
still have
you
to
have to
practice
practice to
for
get
it.
better. If you don't practice at all, you're gonna get worse. You're just gonna lose all your skills. That's the same thing. That's the same thing with school also. If you don't practice, if you don't study, you're gonna fail. Or you
Yeah.
might fail. But if you pay attention in class most of the time and don't actually like use your phone, you could get a good grade without actually studying also. But you just gotta pay attention most of the time in class and actually stay focused.
Yeah, my sister, another thing she told me is that, like, with colleges, throughout your high school career, they don't want to see. What they want to see mostly is either you starting off well and keeping that up, or like starting like kind of in the middle and building up like better grades, going into like harder classes and keeping those good grades. Like if you start off with like tons of hard classes, but like immediately the workload is terrible,
gotta do all
and
these
you
hard
just
classes.
stop, like colleges don't want to see that downward pattern. They want to see like proof that you're able to handle
Like you're
more
capable.
stress, like high stress situations, that you're able to handle that workload.
Yeah.
Grades aren't everything in college. I think it's more like how
Yeah,
capable
how-
you are, like
yeah.
hands-on.
It's not really how smart. You just gotta pay attention most of the time.
Yeah, that's why they ask for like other things other than just your grades. Like there's like the essay where they study like how you can write. There's
Like they
so
want to
much
check how
more.
good you are. They want to like check how like well you do in these situations. Like if you can, like if you want to get a job, you have to write a full like an essay to like enter.
Like
They want to test you, so if you can get a job or something in the future.
yeah, colleges like they don't always ask for like numbers on a screen. Like sure they ask for like SAT or ACT scores, but what they want to see is like how you can perform under a limited time.
Or there's like sometimes for interviews they ask you like a strange question like, imagine you're shrunk down and then you're put inside a blender. What
Yeah,
are
the
you
size
gonna
of a
do?
quarter. Yeah. They don't want to like hear the most boring, bland answer like
I'm just
I'd be
gonna
under the
crouch
blade.
down.
Yeah, they want to see how you can think under like high pressure and how you can be creative.
Like what if
and
you're in
come
like
up with
a bad
creative
situation?
solution.
Like what will happen? You give up or just you try harder to get out of there?
So I think the next period's about to start. So before we wrap this up,
One final question.
any final thoughts that you guys have about like how the people watching or whoever like listens to the podcast,
How they can like keep up
how
their
they
motivation,
can keep up their motivation, to finish
especially in this
off.
fourth quarter. Yeah.
I feel like you should just not like let yourself like for like the couple last months of like the school year, just think about like what you can do to like make yourself better, and just don't like give up on this. You're not gonna like you think you're gonna be confident to like finish off the school year, but you just gotta lock in for the rest of the year.
Don't get too
Just
confident.
don't get too cocky, don't get too confident that you're gonna pass everything. Because most students, I have a couple friends who passed, who got to the end of the school year and they had a final and then they failed it, and then they dropped down their grades. That you just gotta stay confident till the end, honestly.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for some great
Thanks
thoughts.
for bringing me on the podcast.
So I think that concludes today's episode. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, yeah, we're done. Nice. Just in time.
That was 3 too many phrases of walking in.
So, I thought that some of the tips they touched on were really good, especially about how, like, I really like their points of how we can get more motivated over the last few weeks of school.
Yeah. On top of that, you mentioned something earlier about counting days down.
Yeah. So, counting days down can, like, make you feel more, like,
Motivated.
and, like, you're, like, each new day is, like, a new achievement, kind of.
Exactly. On top of that, when they mentioned stuff about like colleges not only looking at numbers on the screen, but actually testing you under pressure, I feel like that was true, and I also feel like that's a skill you need to have to be able to function under pressure on the spot.
Yeah. So what do you think about how, like, just people in our school overall have been acting these last few weeks?
Kids, I think as people are slowly progressing towards summer break, kids are getting a little crazier and crazier. So somebody put fart spray in the hallway, and they've been doing stuff like this, I think, for the past few weeks now. So
Yeah.
I think kids are getting a little too overconfident, as they said, and I feel like people should a little mellow it down.
Yeah, and they're also getting too, like, overconfident. Like, I've had kids come in, like, 5-10 minutes late to some of my classes and then just, like, act like they're on time.
Exactly, and they expect not to get a tardy or something. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. So I really feel like people are losing motivation, but Do you have any suggestions on how they can keep up the motivation?
As you said, counting days down. What else?
Maybe some of the teachers could maybe make class fun too. I mean, a lot of my teachers are really making class fun in the last few weeks,
and I have the same teacher takes you the same thing.
And I'm like excited to go to class.
Exactly, and on top of that, the ABC countdown's also fun. It's like the other day we made a candy salad in Achieve.
Yeah, it's like I like having a new thing each day.
Yeah, it gives you something to plan and look forward to.
Yeah, so I feel like that kind of wraps it up, except, I had one more point.
Yeah.
About the finals thing, I feel like a lot of people are like stressing out about those. Either people are stressing out about those way
Or
more
they
than
don't
they should.
care.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's some people, I've heard it in the hallways. Oh, I don't care about the finals. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. Or somebody stressing out, being like, oh my god, I'm gonna fail.
I'm never gonna get in college.
Exactly. One thing is 7th grade. I mean, finals, they definitely
7th grade is
do matter.
important, and finals matter, but colleges are not necessarily gonna look at your middle school final score.
Exactly.
They might, but
I really doubt they will.
yeah. So, yeah.
I think that's good. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this whole year. Bye.
All right, there it is. Viewers, I think you'll agree that our 7th graders have done an outstanding job in their own right, reflecting and thinking about what it all means in middle school life. Well, this was the 7th graders' final video in this series. We still have a few more releases before summer. If you like what we do, please make sure to share with somebody that might also benefit from this. And if you've been with us all school year and before, thanks as always for tuning in. We'll see you next time.